Okay, so as you guys know, we've covered this VTuber quite a bit in regards to some of the drama that has gone on over the past couple of weeks, and obviously this was the VTuber Sumi who called out Shylily on Twitter and ended up getting pretty cooked because she essentially ended up getting blocked or something for whatever reason, and she started, to kind of jump to conclusions, say that Shylily blocked her because she's another like sea creature VTuber, and then Shylily reached out in private and then also had to publicly respond. And it was just this whole entire thing. If you guys want to go back and look at it, I've got a couple of videos going into more detail on that. But essentially, there's been a little bit of an update on this person and what is going on. And they've been getting a lot more hate recently over some recent tweets, right? And the first one is the fact that she would be selling her brand. She'd be selling her character, her whatever, the one that, obviously got into a lot of drama, saying, I've come to a decision to sell my OC/brand. I will be accepting offers by private message, info below. The contest, obviously, this was a contest that was still going on during the whole Shylily thing, I'm pretty sure, or at least it was around that time, because I remember she was like kind of scared of the people that, were like kind of threatening the contest or whatever. Saying the contest will still be going on if you choose to participate. None of the contest art will be claimed, used, or sold. This contest is to help people, not for free art. So yeah, obviously it is pretty interesting, right? And there's been a lot of people that have been quote retweeting this as well, because they say, I'm hoping to use the money to contribute it entirely to the contest and give a higher prize pool. The current pool together is 2,400, but with everyone's hard work, I want to raise the number with what I make from selling my OC. My OC will come with a complete full body model, no rig, full body 3D model, 16 plus arts, all commissioned through VGen. I'm asking for $1,300. I can accept payment plans, down payments, or best offer. So yeah, it seems like they have a 3D model and a model with no rigging, which is interesting. But yeah, obviously, a lot of people have been quoting this, and it hasn't got many likes, of course, due to the previous stuff as well. 111 likes, and many people have been commenting about specifically the contest thing, saying her fake art contest scammed so many artists, and I've just seen someone drew and rigged an entire model for it. It's so upsetting to see that this sort of thing still goes on in the VTuber community. So again, a lot of people are calling sus on this art contest. Now again, I don't know if it's real, I don't know if it's not real, that's regardless of the point, but I do think it is pretty funny how she is selling her OC/brand now after the whole Shylily stuff, probably because everybody now knows her as the person who got cooked after trying to call out Shylily, right? I'm saying, nah, so sus, you host an art contest, go even far as to block some artists that made art for said contest, and now you're selling your OC/brand. I don't want to jump to accusations, but this is extremely sus and gives off scammer vibes, and it does definitely worry a lot of people because, currently there is a brand related to the contest, right? This VTuber model or whatever is related to the kind of contest. It's a recognizable thing to kind of, go to, but once that is sold, well, now it's just a random person obviously hosting a contest, and we don't really know what's going to happen with that. And we don't really know what's going to happen after that. Is she actually going to put the money from the model and stuff back into the contest? We don't know. But yeah, saying, guys, should I buy it? And obviously they said they have had, some offers. But again, another thing, who said, hey, so don't buy this design actually. And then they put up a post. There's been people as well saying, don't interact with her. She's a harasser and a scammer, apparently. Again, I think that's pretty crazy. He said, just add a bit of confirmation. She originally commented me under Rui name years ago. So yeah, obviously a lot of people are very, very kind of, skeptical, right? People said, go, honestly, after everything your ass has done, screw you. And again, yeah, people don't forget, right? People say scam grifter. Yeah, apparently some people have been accusing her of being another person called Rui, who has scammed people before, which I think is interesting. So if you remember how I called out Rui Nanami on my page a while back, fully know this is her under a different name, serial harasser. Please don't purchase her model or her branding. So a lot of people just putting out kind of warnings, not only just for the contest, but also for actually buying this model, because again, there could be the case of, will you get the model? Will you get everything with the model? And again, I would just be very wary of doing business with this kind of stuff, and especially after all of the behavior with the Shylily stuff as well. On top of that, I do think it is just pretty crazy, right? Now, I know there is a lot of people as well who would maybe buy it due to the fact of, potentially they like to take on VTuber models that aren't so liked. That's happened before. I forgot what the name of the VTuber was, but there was one VTuber where someone bought the model off them. I thought it was Gunpei. It was Gunpei. That was it. It was Gunpei. And they bought the VTuber model off them, and this person now uses it. They're not actually Gunpei anymore, but they still use the model of a VTuber who's very recognizable and hated. But of course, someone wants to repurpose it, right? So you never know. Of course, there's been a lot of posts saying Sumi is selling her brand. For those who don't remember, it's the same person who tried to start drama with Shylily by saying Shylily blocked her for being a CTuber. They say chances are she'll sell her stuff, then use it to get a new model done for a new account, and she'll appear on and pretend it's not her, which again, I think probably will be the case. Then funny enough, there's been enough VTubers doing this to almost merit the naming the process, saying, yep, true, just no one big enough has started a name trying to stick with it. I mean, I don't even know what good name you could really call that. And, kind of the only name you could really have is just kind of like debuting, right? Just debuting under a different name. But there's got to be some kind of word out there. Maybe I'll try figure one out at some point. People say, Kizna, I proved you just can't give a model to someone else and have it work. This is a dumb idea. I do think, the thing is with Kizna, she had and still does have a large devoted audience, which I do think is true, right? I think that if you're a smaller VTuber, it doesn't matter so much selling a VTuber model and using it. But sometimes it does matter if you're giving it to someone that, obviously used to be a big VTuber or whatever. So I'm going to be completely honest. What is it with a lot of VTubers in this whole, this person's copying this person, or like this person stole my idea? Like, I can't understand some idiot fan doing it. So I can't understand some idiot fan doing it. They're weird, but when the talent does it themselves, like I remember one person screaming at this one VTuber, like saying she copied Shylily, and when I even pointed it out, like, hey, you look like Zentreya but green, and she blocked me, which again is crazy. Yeah, and obviously there is a big issue with people, calling people out for copying models and whatever, and we've been through that already with the whole Sumi situation, and right, saying, I'm reminded of when Gunpei did this and people got mad at her. I hope no one buys her brand otherwise. And by the way, yeah, someone bought the Gunpei brand, by the way. I'm pretty sure. So again, it is pretty crazy. I say, I hope no one buys her brand otherwise. They're likely to get lambasted by the people who disliked the previous person, who was Sumi. Gunpei was making a somewhat serious attempt in her rebrand. She set boundaries early, disclosed that she was in a relationship with her manager. Then shortly afterwards, someone connected her new name back to Gunpei's account. She took more accountability than I expected and made an apology. So yeah, I mean, it is pretty interesting, right, to see this come out. Of course, a lot of people very wary of this now. Again, we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see what kind of happens from this. I hope that the people that, have done the art for this do get paid. I hope that this doesn't turn out to be a scam or whatever. But as I said, lots of VTuber fans skeptical about this. And of course, it is pretty funny to see them now switching up personas or switching up, their VTuber model or whatever, after this whole kind of drama, right? I think it's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.